Hello, welcome to Valve channel. I'm Stephen. Now in front of me is Shanghai Hongqiao commercial area, and behind me is the China National Exhibition Center. Today we will go there to visit a Valve export located in Shanghai, China. Now we are in the exhibition area. Let's go inside to find out what kind of valve we can find in this exhibition. First, let's look at a ceramic gate valve. This kind of gate valve can work in very harder flow medium flow control system, especially when it's going to control the cold medium flow inside. When this kind of gate valve works in the cold flow medium inside, the cold flow medium will not destroy the sealing phase inside the valve, because we're going to use a ceramic sealing phase to protect the valve, and also we're going to use ceramic to protect the gate. So this kind of gate valve sealing phase are much harder than other kind of valve. So it can work in very special flow control system. It can work in very high temperature industry. The next one is a ecocentric semi-ball valve. This kind of ball valve before I already talked about. When we're going to open this kind of valve, the ball will immediately left the sealing phase. The valve seat sealing phase will immediately left the ball sealing phase, because this valve is one kind of semi-eccentric ball valve. And also we're going to use the same principle to protect the valve sealing phase. We're going to use a ceramic valve seat, and also going to use a ceramic ring to protect the ball. So when we're going to use this kind of ball valve in the industry, if the flow medium it contained a lot of hard material inside, the material will not destroy the sealing phase. It will going to protect the sealing phase. Here is a triple offset butterfly valve. This triple offset butterfly valve, the special thing is we're going to use a sealing phase. The ring are not located on the disc. The ring are located on the valve body. The triple offset butterfly valve before I already talked about. When we're going to open this kind of valve, the disc sealing phase will immediately left the valve seat sealing phase. So this kind of valve, when we're going to open it, it has no rubbing. So this kind of butterfly valve will have long lifetime. Let's look at some forged valve. This one is a forged gate valve and forged ball valve. This one is 3-piece forged ball valve. It has a 3-piece and a board inside the valve body. The body are forged by the carbon steel. And this one is a forged gate valve. The gate valve, all the components are made by forged, and the flange are widening on the valve body. This kind of gate valve always work in the high temperature and high pressure working environment. Except high temperature working environment, we can see this kind of gate valve also can work in low temperature environment. The temperature can work in lower than 100 Celsius degree. This kind of gate valve, most of the time we are going to use widening connection to connect the valve with the pipeline. Except this kind of low temperature global valve, we also have another kind of low temperature global valve. This kind of low temperature global valve can work in the temperature lower than 119 Celsius degree. The reason why this kind of global valve have very long neck, because it's going to protect the parking on this area. If we don't have this kind of long neck, if the parking are located in this area, the low temperature will destroy the parking. So that is the reason why we design this kind of low temperature global valve have very long neck on the top of the valve. Here we have two kind of different material forged gate valve. This one, the material is A105, it's carbon steel, and the reason why this one, even though the tape is the same, but the color is different. The reason why we use blue color to print on this valve, because the material are special. It is used F11 material. Before we already talked about the material, high temperature steel. This kind of material can work in the temperature higher than 500 Celsius degree working environment. This kind of low temperature global valve, it can serve the liquid hydrogen and liquid nitrogen. Its manufacturer, it has a TS certification, and also the material is CF8. This kind of material are perfect working in the low temperature environment. This one is a forged check valve. The flow medium can flow from this side to another, but it cannot flow back because the check valve, it has a disc inside. The disc can move up and move down. When the flow medium flow from this side, the disc will going up to open the valve. But if the flow medium flow from another side, it will push the disc to close the valve. This check valve, the material is A105. It's one kind of forged carbon steel. In China, not all the manufacturers are going to produce all the valve components by themselves. Some manufacturers are going to produce the valve component only. Just like this manufacturer just going to produce the ball for the ball valve. Let's look at some special ball from this manufacturer. First, let's look at this kind of three-way ball valve ball. It is a L-type ball valve ball. Actually, the valve stake already connected with the ball. The manufacturer already connected the stake with the ball. So the manufacturer don't need to produce a stake for the ball valve. This is a V ball. It's one kind of control valve ball. The reason why we produce a V on this valve because the V we're going to control the valve CV. When we're going to open the valve, a little bit, it will going to have a small CV for this ball valve. When we're going to open more, the valve will have very high CV. So this kind of ball valve, we're going to control the valve CV, especially in the control valve. This ball valve a little bit special than others because most of the time we are going to use casting or forging to make material become a ball. But this ball valve, the ball are not made by casting or forging. We are going to use a stainless steel pipe, and then we cut the pipe, become this side, and then we're going to use a very special machine to push the pipe, become a hemisphere shape. So this kind of ball valve, the material are very special. Just like this example. Actually, before, the material is one part of the pipe, and then we push the material become a ball. So this kind of ball valve, the material are special than other kind of ball valve ball. Here is a lined butterfly valve. The reason why we use the line to protect the valve body because some kind of butterfly valve will work in the flow medium are very sensitive. The flow medium are very corrosive. So we use the PTFE. We put the PTFE inside the valve body, and also we're going to use the PTFE to protect the valve disc. So this kind of butterfly valve, when it work in the flow control system, the flow medium, even though are very corrosive, it will not going to destroy the valve disc and the valve body. So now we can see very clear about this kind of butterfly valve. We're going to use the PTFE to protect the valve body, and also we're going to use the PTFE to protect the valve disc, and also we can use this kind of material going to protect the body too. So when we're going to use this kind of valve in the flow control system, all the valve body already be covered by the PTFE. So the corrosive flow medium will not going to destroy the valve body. The valve will have very long lifetime. This ball valve are a little bit special. We can see the first flange are very thick, the next flange are very thin. The reason why we design this kind of ball valve, because this kind of ball valve will work in the tank industry. We were going to disassembling this very thick flange, and then going to widen this kind of flange on the end of the tank, and then we're going to connect the valve body with this very thick flange. So this kind of ball valve only work in the bottom of the tank in the industry. Let's take a look at some ball valve. This one is a one-piece ball valve, and this one is two-piece ball valve. And here we also have three-piece ball valve. Except those ball valve, we also have three-way ball valve. It can control the flow medium from three-way to the valve. One-piece ball valve are very special kind of ball valve because the valve body don't have any place, the medium will be leak. So this kind of ball valve, the valve body will never get a leak. And beside this big one-piece ball valve is another kind of one-piece ball valve. The valve lengths are much shorter than this one because it's going to use different standard. Here we have a special color ball valve. This ball valve color is black. The reason why this ball valve color is black because we're going to soak this valve body in special chemical pour. And the black color we're going to protect the valve body will not get corrosive very quickly. So this kind of ball valve, even though the valve body is carbon steel, but it will not get corrosive very quickly. Here we have two special designed triple offset butterfly valve. This kind of long neck triple offset butterfly valve will work in the low temperature flow control system. Most of the time this kind of butterfly valve will going to control the natural gas like the LNG flow control industry. The reason why we're going to design this kind of long neck on the top of the butterfly valve because we're going to put the packing on this area. If we're going to put the packing in the top of the valve body, the low temperature will going to destroy the packing, so the valve will leak. So that is the reason why we designed this kind of triple offset butterfly valve with a very long neck. And beside this small triple offset butterfly valve, we have another one. This one is a little bit special. The reason why we designed this kind of flange going to cover this area because this kind of butterfly valve we are going to, if the valve, the sealing face going to leak, the valve seat we can going to change from this area. So we can open this area going to change the valve seat inside. Let's look at this pneumatic control ball valve. This ball valve already mounting the two control options for the user. First option is the gearbox and another is the actuator. If we're going to open this valve, we can use the hand wheel to open this ball valve. If we want to use the automatically control system to open this ball valve, we can switch the control action from here, and we can use the pneumatic control to control this ball valve. We were going to put the gas from the filter, and the filter will clean the gas and put in the solenoid valve. And the solenoid valve we're going to push the air inside the actuator. The actuator we're going to push the valve stand going to turning, so the ball valve will be open. And on the top of the actuator is the limit switch. This kind of limit switch, the function is going to tell the user the position of the valve. The valve is in the open position or in the closed position. This very thick pipe is the anti-explosion pipe. The function is we are going to connect the solenoid valve and the limit switch together, and we can put the connection line from this area. So this is the totally well-designed ball valve. We can control it by the hand wheel and also can control it by the actuator. Here is a V-ball control valve. This V-ball control valve is going to control the CV from the valve. The V-ball will very accurately to control the CV from the valve. We have the actuator and the positioner. The positioner is from the Siemens. The basic principle is we're going to push the gas from the filter, and the filter going to push the gas in the positioner. And we will give the position the signal. The signal we're going to push the gas to the actuator. So actuator going to control the valve stand to open and close the valve in different degree. And a different degree will make the valve have different CV. So that is a basic principle for this kind of V-ball control valve. Here is a pneumatic control global valve. The basic principles are very similar with the ball valve. We are going to use the air going to control the valve going to open and close. We will put the gas from here up the filter going to the solenoid valve. This valve actuator is going to move up and move down. The cylinder and the piston are inside. So we have two pipes going to connect different areas. We can switch the solenoid valve, let the air for the upside and the downside. So the actuator can move up and move down to open and close this global valve. Here is a very special ball valve. This ball valve is a fully widened ball valve. This ball valve was buried underground. The reason why this ball valve, it has 5 pipes on the valve body, it has a special function. This 2 pipe is going to protect the valve seat. When the valve seat are destroyed, we can use some special material put inside, and the material will going to flow inside the valve seat, so the valve still can seal the flow medium inside the flow control system. And except this 2 pipe, this middle pipe, the function is the same. If the valve leak from this area, we also can put the special material inside the valve body in the parking area, so it can protect the parking area that the valve not going to leak. And we have another 2 pipe. These 2 pipes, the function are different. One pipe is going to connect with the bottom of the valve. This function is this: if the valve inside the valve body, it contains a lot of dust flow medium inside, we can use this pipe to let the dust medium flow outside. And another pipe is going to connect with the cavity. So if the cavity have pressure, we can use this pipe to release the cavity pressure to outside. So 5 different pipes have 5 different functions for this fully widened buried ball valve. Here is another fully widened buried ball valve. The function is the same. This ball valve, the valve body, it has 5 pipes are located on the valve body. And the 5 pipe, the function is the same. Those 1, 2, 3 pipe is going to protect the valve seat. If the valve seat are leak, we can use some special medium we can put inside the pipe. And the special medium we're going to seal the valve. And also we can protect the parking area with this pipe. And another 2 pipe, this valve, this pipe and this pipe, the function is different. This pipe is going to connect with the bottom of the valve. This area, it always accumulates a lot of dust inside, so we can use this pipe to clean the valve. And another is going to connect with the valve body cavity. So if the cavity have pressure, we can use this pipe to venting the cavity pressure inside the valve body to protect the valve body. Here we have another very special ball valve. This ball valve is 6-inch size and 2,500 plus class, and the material is A105. It's one kind of forged carbon steel. This ball valve, the size and the pressure are very high. It can work in very special working industry. It is designed by API 60, and the flange you can see are very thick. And we use the RJ connection to connect the flange with the pipe. So in this exhibition, except the valve, we also have some kind of equipment going to produce valve. Just like this special machine. It can produce the gate valve sealing phase in 1 time. This exhibition contained a lot of brands from valve industry. I will continue to record most valve in this exhibition. Thank you for watching. See you next video. Bye bye.